What's up, guys? It's your boy back again with a new video. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to go through all the team lists, rapid fire for the weekend, my key matchups of every game, and then we'll go through how my team looks this weekend. So going into this weekend, I got a couple of players I got my eye on, and then yeah, hopefully get some cover for round 17 coming up. But let's get straight into the video anyway. So first game of the weekend on a Thursday night, we got the Rabbits and the Dragons. My key matchup in this game is Andrew McCulloch and Damien Cook. I feel like with the Dragons, they need to get themselves in positions to get Benny Hunt into best positions to score points, or help to score points. And, you know, with that, Andrew McCulloch back in the 9, he should be able to move that forward pack around really nicely. Jack DeBellin starting at front row looks pretty good as well, hopefully. He chops a lot of blokes at the moment and playing really good footy. On the opposite end, Damien Cook, he's been playing pretty good. Obviously coming back of Origin and that. I'll be keen to see how he goes out at hooker, if he get his dart runs started and really help the Rabbits get a win. And this one, I got the Rabbitohs. I think the Rabbitohs going to be a little bit too strong. Next game of the weekend, we got the Seagulls versus the Cowboys. And my key matchup in this game is Ruben Garrick versus Scotty Drinkwater. The other key matchup could definitely be Andrew Davey versus Jeremiah Nanai. Him coming back off injury. Probably definitely players to watch there, but I think Scotty Drinkwater and Ruben Garrick are going to be good ones, mainly because, number one, Scotty's in great form at the moment and all that, and Ruben Garrick is actually in really good form at the moment in fullback position, so he's trying to state his claim that he can be a fullback and maybe get for that fullback money, who knows. I've got the Cowboys in this one. I think they're just more sturdy as a squad. I feel like when the Seagulls get tested, they kind of fall away a little bit, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised the way Ola Kawatu's playing at the moment, that he has a cracking game. Next game, we got the Melbourne Storm versus the Brisbane Broncos. And my key matchup in this game is Tamari Martin versus Nick Meaney. So number one, Tamari, I want to see Tamari really hold the team up here because there's a lot of outs for the Broncos team. There's no Adam Reynolds in that. I think Tamari is going to pick up the slack. Nick Meaney for the Storm, I feel like he's just got to fill in the spot until Pappenhausen's back. There was rumors that Pappenhausen should have came back for this game, so I'm pretty surprised he's not in this. I think he's in the reserves, yeah, so you'll probably see Pappenhausen maybe slot in there too, so that'll even be better as a key matchup. To see Papi go run again, that will be awesome to see. And this one, I got the Melbourne Storm only because with the Broncos, got a lot of big outs there, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos made it a game, especially players like Paddy Carrigan and that in this squad. I think he's been playing amazing. Next game, we got the Sharks versus the Titans, and my key matchup in this game is William Kennedy versus AJ Brimson. Hopefully, AJ is back. I think he had COVID protocols. Hopefully, he's back for this game because the Titans really need him. They struggled last week. Other matchups there, you got Tino versus Cam McGuinness, who's been playing out of his skin. And then obviously like Nico Hines and Toby Sexton and that. In this one, I'll say the Sharks, you know, the Sharks, they didn't play amazing last week, but still got it done against my Waz, like convincingly. And the Titans, they just didn't really fire a shot against the Rabbits, so the Titans seem to be really struggling at the moment. But yeah, I got the Sharkies. Next game of the weekend, and fuck man, this is the matchup we've been dreading, but it is what it is. It's at Redcliffe. It's at our hometown, well, our home base at the moment. Before we go home, there's been a couple of good changes to this team that I like personally, and hopefully we give it to the Panthers. I don't think we'll win. I hope we do, but I think we'll give it a good crack. So obviously we got the Warriors versus the Panthers. My key matchups in this game is obviously Reece Walsh versus Dylan Edwards. Both are amazing for their teams. Other key matchup, obviously Sean Johnson and the new recruit Volkman versus Nathan Cleary and Luai. I think that's going to be a really nice pairing, mainly because Volkman is really off-the-cuff sort of player as well. I'm excited to see how he goes finally for our halves. Other big in is Jesse Arthurs. I think he's been amazing. I've always thought he should be our centre. It sucks he hasn't been in for the last how many weeks. I'm hoping it was within injury and all that, but I don't think it was. But anyway, obviously, you know, Tohu, Curran's there. We got a decent squad there. Harris Tavita playing 14. And Adam Fanor Blake's in reserves. Not sure when he's coming back, but, you know, being named in the reserves mean he's getting some sort of run out there. So he's probably not going to get in this game, but maybe in the future. You guys know me, so you know who I'm going to pick, but you know where the smart pick should be, to be honest. Next game, we got the Roosters versus the Eels, and my key matchup in this game is Mitchell Moses versus Luke Keary. Depending if Luke Keary is playing, he is named, so he'll probably play, but I know he's been having concussion issues. Other ones are Clint Gufferson versus Teddy, Reed Marnie Reid Marnie versus Verrills. Verrills is back, which is crazy. Lindsay Collins versus Campbell Gillard. Like this game, like Isaiah Papali'i versus Nat Butcher. There's so many matchups to watch out for this one. And I didn't even touch on Suali or Manu. Obviously there's studs all over this game. But the way the Eels played last week, I feel like they need to bounce back. And unfortunately, I feel like the Eels are that type of team that play to their opposition. So if they play a little bit under, they don't go so well, but they play top squads. They play pretty well. And the Roosters at the moment are a mid-tier squad. So I think they'll be hurting, so they'll want to bounce back. And I think they put some points on the Roosters, who are still trying to find their feet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually a decently close game, because the Roosters, they're not clicking over yet, but they're starting to get there. Next game, we got the Raiders versus the Knights, and my key matchup in this one is going to be Xavier Savage versus Kalen Ponga. Obviously, Ponga coming back with injury. Jackie Whiten versus Anthony Milford is going to be a cracking matchup. And over like Adam Elliott versus Kurt Mann, I think it's going to be an awesome matchup. I think this is the most full strength Knights squad. I think last week they were pretty full strength as well, but coming down to it, all they are missing is Brayley. And then with the Raiders, they're still waiting for Chance and all that to come back, but they've still got a really good squad who are in form. I'm going to pick the Raiders in this one. I think the Raiders are going to be just too classy. And last game of the weekend, we got the Doggies versus the West Tigers. And I really think that the key matchup in this one I'm watching is Jake Avarillo versus Dane Laurie. I think that's going to be cracking. And then obviously the halves. So Kyle Flanagan, Burton versus Jackson Hastings, Luke Brooks. To be honest, I'm going to say that I think the Doggies are going to put some points on the Tigers here. I think the Tigers are just falling away now. Obviously with the big changes, Madge is gone. And Madge has really formed a connection with a lot of boys in the squad. Even though they weren't playing amazing, they were playing, they did end up finding some form there. And Jackson Hastings obviously was that. And I know for a fact Jackson Hastings is hurting not having Madge there. But I'm excited to see how Avarillo keeps going with number one. Max King starting front row, which is amazing. And I think the Doggies are starting to find a little bit of form now, so I'm excited to see how they go. So you'll probably notice a couple of weird changes, or maybe not one decent change, and the other one would be a weird one for most of you. But I honestly am just jumping to what I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. I brought on Jake Avarillo. I had to ship off Nanai. I really think that whether it was injury or not, he's going to be out soon for Origin. Then maybe on his run home, I could be wrong. Watch him because I think he's going to be awesome for the end of the year. I just don't know if I had people like Schuster, Tohu, and all that sort of stuff, and I could sell and get someone decent, and I had to do that with Payne Haas. Unfortunately, I traded Payne Haas out because, number one, the injury to his shoulder seems to be a consistent one now, but the AC joint is not a crazy injury. That's why he's playing this week and that. But number two, like the biggest one, is he is actually losing a lot of the ball from players like Carrigan, Palacios stepping up, Kate Wells starting to get the ball a lot more, and that team is actually working like a team, and so he's not getting those like one out runs where he's just taking big run. Like he's still playing amazing, but he's not getting the same amount as what he was before. So I really think that someone like Isaiah Papali'i, who has consistently been scoring really high all season, is someone I'm going to have in my squad and keep till the end of the year. So, and he plays round 17, which is a big one. Obviously, Payne will be off for Origin duties. Other than that, I haven't changed anyone else really. I'm just waiting. Like Karaz is getting up in price at the moment, so maybe I could look at someone else for him. Overall, I'm pretty happy with everyone there at the moment for a week, and then watch who's going to poke their head up and do something crazy. I really expect players like Adam Elliott to move up in cash. Tamalolo to move up in cash as well. And I think Schuster and that are coming into form now. So I think I picked a decent squad around it. I know Avarillo looks really weird there, but if you look at the back line there, I feel like they're all really informed players. And players I can plug in, especially when Papenhausen comes back. I'm going to wait a week or so to see how he comes back. And he's going to slot in there somewhere too. So, and I could see Avarillo slotting into a center role here with someone that's decent cash. But I think the way Avarillo's been playing the last couple of weeks at fullback, I've really loved watching him. He's taken his opportunities. He seems to, he's not gun shy anymore. Like he really just takes and just goes. So I expect big points out of him whenever I see him. He reminds me a lot of like a Scotty Drinkwater. I don't think he has the ball playing green light as of yet of like a Scotty Drinkwater, but he reminds me so much of like the opportunist. Like he plays a lot like him. So I'm excited to see how the doggies go with them. Hopefully they can keep climbing off the bottom of that ladder. Unfortunately, that just means the Warriors are more likely to get that wooden spoon. But the one thing with the Wars, man, we're too inconsistent to get that wooden spoon. So hopefully we turn it around when we go to New Zealand. So yeah, we'll quickly go through the team of the weekend. So we got Teddy, Drinkwater, and Hines as our wing fullback positions. Mr. Consistence, we got Tago and Penasini. With our centres, they're probably going to hold till a little bit later until I find another centre position that I can just chuck one of those boys, you know. My halves, we got Cleary and Avarillo. Cleary's been amazing, and obviously against my Waz, it's going to be tough not to put him captain this week. Tohu Harris and Schuster is my edges. Tumlolo, Papali'i, and Adam Elliott is my front rows. I think that's a pretty strong forward pack at the moment. And then Reed Marnie is my hooker. My bench players, Max King has got that starting role, and he's still scoring really well, so I'm keeping him around. Nat Butcher scored really decent last week, so I'm going to keep him and see what happens with him at the moment. Maybe ship him off for someone up top there, because I still got a decent amount of cash there, 196k, that I can put on a real gun that's coming into the end of the season. So these are the plays that I'm starting to make now, is fill out players that I think I'm going to hold to the end of the season, and then plug in like a really big gun. So I'm looking at Papenhausen, see how he goes around the origin or after origin period, you know, like big players like that. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Cooler, Brendan Smith is going to fill out my bench. Maybe I'll drop Brendan Smith to emergency and look for another place for him. I'm not too sure, but hopefully he gets some good game time around origin period. And then my end, so we got my emergencies. We got Xavier Savage, Karaz, who's played big at the moment. Fidel, who hasn't played amazing last week, but he should bounce back. And then Wishart, who's still in reserve squad. So another decent squad, I think, overall going into the weekend. Again, just watch all the footy, pick out players I really like who are really performing. And yeah, slot them into the squad and see how we go. But any questions, any comments down below, let me know. Let me know how your team goes. I see everyone in my YouTube league killing it. So peace out. Thank you so much, guys.